In Krish Leela, Giraj Govardhan is Haridas Varya. He is the best among all the Haridas. I was thinking that Guru Purnima just went few weeks back, and I was very. There were so many programs, there were so many festivals, and lots of traveling was involved. I had to go to different cities, but somehow it this went off nicely. And then considered, I thought that again I should restart online classes. Then I thought which book I should discuss now. With Jaivdharam, many things, many points came. Bhajan Rahasya, Chaitanya Charitamrit. But then I thought they are such, big books. Maybe if we cannot finish them, then it's not good. Then that is why. Then I thought that why not? There are three in our history. There are three special books, scriptures, which are very famous. Our Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Nayak Gosai Maharaj, Srila Bhaktivedanta Nayak Gosai Maharaj ji, when he used to travel to Delhi for preaching purpose, he would speak on these three special books. On on the basis of these books, he would speak Hari Katha. When I used to go to hear Gurudev's Hari Katha in 1992, 1993, so Gurudev would speak Harikatha from these special books, and then we would be astonished because we had never heard such katha before. So the book which we are studying today is known as Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Who wrote this book? Srila Chakravarti Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. I don't go in detail, but let's try to understand. Our entire Gaudiya Parambara. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is the spiritual hero of our Gurudev. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Vishwanath, if you read the Bhagavatam with the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, then you will understand what is the deep philosophy. He has given such deep philosophy and vichar. Here, from inside. Such high level of vichar which he has given. Not who is Vishwanath? He is so many books. With Madhav, I'm sorry, actually I'm in Vrindavan today. That's why my network is so bad. Please forgive me. So there's a huge ocean, and one side there's just a drop of water. Mahaprabhu said that I have just given one drop of ocean water to Rupa Goswami. Taking that one drop of ocean water, Rupa Goswami composed the book Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, the ocean of Bhakti Rasamrit, the ocean of Bhakti nectar. He just gave us one drop of that. And that, can you imagine how big ocean can be of that Bhakti? And Rupa Goswami just one drop of water. And more books is Need Money. Another book, Lalit Madhav, Dan Keli Kumudi. These are the Lagu Bhagavatamritam. These are the books composed by Rupa Goswami. So like this, Sri Rupa Goswami gave us so many special books. It is difficult to understand his books. That is why later on, after Rupa Goswami, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur came. Who is he? He is Rupa Goswami himself. And he, Vishwanath Thakur, to help us understand his books, in a proper way, he again gave us these special books. Vishwanath Thakur is not different from Rupa Goswami. If he would not have come, then the Siddhanta of Bhakti, the commentaries of Bhagavatam, all these Siddhants we would have never understood. So that's why it is so special. He has given us so many things. Actually, he is very special in our sampradaya. So Rupa Goswami gave us Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and in elaborate book, what is bhakti, Anup Siddha Bhakti is what, Sarup Siddha Bhakti is what, Bhakti is what is the rasa of bhakti, and um, how many types of bhakti is there, different types of bhakti. But Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Dasya Sakhe Vatsalya, these three rasas are described elaborately in detail by Rupa Goswami. He also touched Madhurya Ras in this book, but not in detail. Sorry. So yeah, he wrote another book for Madhurya Ras. Madhur Ras, that's Ujjwal Neelmani. Now, this book in itself is difficult for us to understand. We can't understand it so easily. So the essence of this book, the summary is given in different Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu was composed by Rupa Goswami, and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gave us his essence, its crux. He gave us that, its crux. And he gave it the names Sindhu Bindu. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu. Then Rupa Goswami gave us Ujjwal Neelmani. So then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gave Ujjwal Neelmani Kiran. Kiran means ray, one ray. So what Sanatana Goswami gave us the book Brihad Bhagavatamritam. So Rupa Goswami can't overrule Sanatana Goswami. So then he gave us the book Bhagavat Amrit Kanha. Kanha means one particle of the dust. So these three scriptures, Bindu, Kiran, and Kanha. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu, Ujjwal Neelmani Kiran, and Bhagavat Amritam Kanha. These these ये तीनों होले वैष्णव पन्हा. These three together, Bindu, Kiran, Kanha. Bindu means drop, Kiran means one ray, and Kanha means one speck of the dust. These three together, these three together is the entire Gaudiya Siddhant. These three books together is the entire complete Gaudiya Siddhant. This Gaudiya Siddhant, Srila Vishwanath Chatri Thakur presented to us, to the sadhakas like us. So today we will hear Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. It's little difficult, little technical, and also nectarian. So be patient. Maintain patience. We will have to hear it patiently. So we will get to know so many different siddhant. It's a complete siddhantic book, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Let's begin it today by giving obeisances to our Gurudev, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. We will start this Granth today. In Mangla Charan, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur took the Mangla Charan of actually Rupa Goswami. What is the Mangla Charan of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu? Akhil Rasamrit Murti, प्रसरा रुचिर तारका पाली तलिक श्याम ललितो राधा प्रयाण विदुर जयते. We can learn this verse. You can get this. It's a very important verse. Akhil Rasit Murti. What is the meaning of this verse? Here in this shloka, the explanation is given that the benefactor, well-wisher of all the devotees of the entire Gaudiya society, not just the Gaudiya society, but the entire world. He wants the best of everyone. That Rupa Goswami in his heart, he has this special mood, bhav, that's transcendental bhav. He manifested it and he presented in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. In that book, he gave us this Mangla Charan. So same Rupa Goswami as Vishwanath Thakur, when he came as Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he again he used the same Mangla Charan as it is. This means what? Akhil Rasamrit Murti. Akhil means what? All, everyone, all. Akhil is the meaning of that. Rasamrit means Akhil means all the rasas, means the nectar of all the rasas. That is who? So there are 5 main rasas and 7 gone rasas. 5 prime, 7 gone. This is Siddhantic Vichar. Some people say, what we have to do with this? We are just chant Hare Krishna Japa, just do Ekadashi Vrat, read Bhagavad Gita, and have Prasadam, Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. And you don't need to do anything else. But until you do not understand the Siddhant, you cannot get graveness in bhakti, firm determination in bhakti. How is that possible? By hearing. But what do we hear? Siddhant. We should hear Siddhant. Siddhant बोलिए चित्ते ना करो आलस. Never feel laziness in speaking and hearing Siddhant. Oh no, I cannot understand. What's the need for me to understand? Just chant and be happy. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. Not like that. So people do not give preference to Siddhant actually. They ignore. But Siddhant, it's important to know, understand the Siddhantas. Now, this book is Siddhantic book. Don't feel, okay, I cannot understand, so let me leave it. Keep on hearing. Keep on hearing. You hear it once, you will get some sanskar, impressions. And when you hear it for second, third, fourth time, in Harikatha, we keep on saying, you will recall, you will be able to recall. 3, 4, 5 times if we hear, then we can remember properly. So, Akhil Rasamrit. Amrit means we all know, Amrit means nectar. But Akhil Ras means all the rasas, the nectar of all the rasas. When it is said all rasas, then which all rasas it includes? 5 mukhya. Mukhya means prime, primary rasas. And 7 gone, secondary rasas. 5 mukhya rasas are which ones? Shant, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhur. These are the 5 primary rasas. Mukhya, prime, primary. And these are the 5 primary rasas of Braj. Shant ras, like all the branches, the trees, flowers, they are Shant rasas. All these are Shant rasas. They are in Shant rasa. They are also serving Krishna. They also they are present in Braja for Krishna's seva, but in Shant bhav. They are serving Krishna in Shant bhav in Braja. Beyond this is Dasyaras. What is the service of Dasyaras? They want to serve Krishna. And then comes Sakyaras, means they are Krishna's friends. They, and then comes Vatsalyaras, like Yashoda Maya. And topmost is Madhuras, that includes all the gopis, Lalita, Vishakha. So these are the 5 primary rasas in Braj. Then there are 5 secondary, gone rasas. Which are those? Hasya, laughter, laughing. Adbud, astonishment. Karun. Karun means pathetic. Raudra, anger, angry. Bhyanak, veer, vibhasya. These are the 7 secondary rasas. For each and every rasas in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami has given everything in detail. So for now, we can understand that there are 5 primary rasas and 7 secondary rasas. In total, there are 12 rasas. 7 plus 5, 12. In with these 12 rasas, Parmanand Swarup, the one who has Parmanand Swarup, Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna's Swarup is composed of 12 rasas. And Parmanand, complete, the one which is complete of Anand and nectar. He enjoys the complete Anand and nectar. He is Krishna. And and his body, which is composed of 12 rasas, from his body comes lots of rays, kirne, rays. Those rays are called Kanti, means Tej. That Tej goes in all the 4 directions from Krishna's body. With that rays, Tej, there are 2 main gopis' name is taken in here, Tadka and Pali. It's not the Tadka of Ram Leela. It's the one who was killed by Ramji. That was Tadka. This is Tarka. There's difference between them. Like we s- like we say as a joke. Oh, this mother's name is Maya Vaya. So Maya is the name, but what is Vaya? So this is Tarka and Pali. So two gopis are this Tarka and Pali. So Krishna's Kaleva, which is composed of 12 rasas, and from his Kaleva there is a special light coming, Tej. From that light, he attracted those two gopis towards him. Those two gopis are who? Tarka and Pali. So why these two gopis? Why these two names? Why not some other names? So Tarka is Vipaksha Gopi, opposite side, opposite party. Vipaksha means not the one who is opposed to Radharani, another party. She doesn't belong to Radharani's party. The gopis who belong to Radharani's group, they are called Swapaksha, Lalita, Vishaka, Tumvida, Chitralekha. These are favorable to Radharani's mood. And one is Pratikul, unfavorable. That is Tarka, Vipaksha. And Pali. So these are Tathastha gopis. They are neutral. They don't take anyone's side. There are some groups of gopis. They neither take Krishna's side nor Radharani's side. They are just neutral, Tathastha, in between. But what are they in themselves? Yutheshwari. This word you can write, note down, you can remember, because this word is quite common. You will get to hear it more. Yutheshwari means youth means group, and Ishwari means the leader of that group. Yutheshwari. So Radharani's name is Yutheshwari. Such a nice name. So Lalita Sakhi is also Yutheshwari. She has her own youth. Youth means it's not the word English youth, Youth, not that youth. In Hindi, youth means group, the entire group. So the leader of these groups is called Yutheshwari. Like Lalita Sakhi has her own group. So she's the Yutheshwari of that particular group. But Tarka is in opposite side, unfavorable to Radharani. So she has her own group and she's a leader of that group. She's a Yutheshwari of that group. Another is Pali. Pali means neutral one, Tatastha one. But she's also a group leader, Yutheshwari. So these two names are taken here. And Shamla. Shamla is Suhrid. Suhrid means well-wisher. Those They are the well-wisher of Radharani. She advises Radharani and Lalita Sakhi. Lalita Sakhi is Swapaksha. So in total, there are how many categories? Swapaksha, Vipaksha, Suhridapaksha, and Tathastha. You can remember this. So you can make note of this. When we make notes, we can easily remember. Otherwise, it's difficult. So in Swapaksha comes Lalita ji. In Suhrida comes Shamla's name, Shamla Gopi. And in Tathastha comes Pali's name. And Vipaksha comes Tarka. So these are the different gopis belonging to different groups. So Krishna is composed of 12 different rasas. From his body comes a strong rays. From those kantis, these four categories of gopis, he controlled them. Krishna, these special four gopis. This this means we can understand it in this way. Also, in this, those who are Vipaksha means opposite to Krishna, opposite to Radharani. Krishna could attracted them, but Shamla and Lalita, Krishna became oneness with them. And above this is what? Sarv Yutheshwari. The topmost among all the Yutheshwaris is Radharani, Mahabhav Sarupa, Srimati Radhika. With her, Krishna's relationship is what? With Radharani, what is the relationship of Krishna? That Krishna who is always enhancing the preeti, the love of Radharani, the prem of Radharani, who's always increasing the love of Radharani. That Sri Krishna Chandra, he is he has he has all the qualities. He has all the qualities. This is the Mangalacharan of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu actually. So I try to make it very easy for all of you. Akhil Rasamrit Murti. So now we understood the meaning of Akhil Rasamrita Sindhu, the 12 rasas, 5 primary rasas and 7 secondary rasas. So Krishna's Sri Vigraha is composed of these 12 rasas, and the one Krishna could attract all the gopis of these four categories. That Krishna. Tarka, Tarka is belonging to opposition party. She is belonging to Vipaksha party. Pali is the one who belongs to Tatastha party. Krishna could control these two. Krishna controlled these two. Others, other two are Shamla, who is Suhrida Paksha, and Lalita is Swapaksha, favorable to Radharani, Lalita Sakhi. So Krishna became oneness with them. Means like oneness means not the body, the mood, bhavna, feelings. They become tadat. Krishna is thinking. What Krishna is thinking, Lalita Sakhi can imagine. She can think. She can think the same. Or whatever Lalita Sakhi is thinking, Krishna can think the same. This is called tadatme. Oneness in mood. You are very far from India and you are thinking something else, and at the same time I am thinking about you the same point. This is called tadadme, oneness in mood. And this happens when we think a lot about someone. And when we keep on thinking about someone, then what happens? Tadatme. In bhajan, we sing what? Gurudev, karo more atma saath. Atma saath is oneness. With your feelings, my feelings should become oneness. Oneness, tadatme. This should be our prayer. But what is said about Radha Rani? फोन क्यों ले गया? आफत तू ही है मेरे लिए. Sorry. So we remember Krishna. Sorry, I missed this line. So now a famous shloka comes, which many students know. If you can repeat this verse with me, those who know this verse. Anya Bilashita Shunyam Gyan Karmade Navritam Anukulena Krishna Anushilanam Bhaktir Uttama. Let's repeat it together. Anya Bilashita Shunyam Gyan Karmade Navritam Anukulena. So Gurudev wants us to speak with him. Bhaktir Uttama. Braj Kishore Das Prabhu, can you please share this post in the group? Anya Bhlashita Shunyam Gyan Karmadya. It's not Adi, it's Adya. Anukulina Krishna Anushilinam Bhakti Uttama. This is the symptom of Uttama Bhakti. Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu has given detail about this definition. That's why in detail we hear Klesh Agni, this verse which Maharaj is speaking. Sadhan Bhakti, Bhav Bhakti. So Bhakti in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, these different types of bhaktis are discussed because we are listening the summary of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. That is why Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur directly came on Uttam Bhakti. Is there something called Kanishta Bhakti? Madhya Bhakti is also there. That is why one becomes Uttam. Like we say, this sadhu is duplicate. The sadhu is duplicate. The sadhu is not real sadhu. That means simultaneously it means that somewhere there might be a pure devotee, pure sadhu. That is why this one is duplicate. We have a paper, we made a Xerox of this. If we have a Xerox, that means there is some original paper as well. If original does not exist, there can't be a Xerox copy of the original. So if original sadhu is there, that's why a duplicate sadhu is available. That's why some people say all sadhus are duplicates. All sadhus are duplicate. But some original sadhu might be there present on earth. Every sadhu can't be duplicate. Can we say all papers are just Xerox? So where's the original paper? We have the original, that's why we have the Xerox available. Similarly, all bhakti is not of same kind. There is Kanishta Bhakti, there is Madhyam Bhakti, then Uttama Bhakti. If one understands Uttama Bhakti, then they can understand whatever is lower are very less important. Kanishta Bhakti. And this is like common sense actually. If we understand Uttama Bhakti, we can easily differentiate what is Kanishta Bhakti. What is Uttama Bhakti? If you go to buy something in the market, will you buy something very of high quality or mediocre quality? Like suppose there is a season of mango, Langda, Chosa, there's so many different types of mangoes, Sinduri, Alfonso, top class of mangoes. When you buy the mangoes, Will you buy the best quality of mangoes or ordinary? The top class of mango, best quality of mangoes at a reasonable price. So so if we took the best mangoes, the other mangoes become inferior in quality. Similarly, Uttama Bhakti, if we understand, leaving that Uttama Bhakti, other Bhakti becomes Kanishta Bhakti. And our lakshya is to get Kanishta Bhakti, Madhyam Bhakti, or Uttama Bhakti. We want to become top class in everything. In food, we want the best. In house, we want the best house. In traveling, we want Uttam, means top class. But Uttam Bhakti is what we need to understand. So Uttama Bhakti is Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. That bhakti should be Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. This means, let's understand its meaning. Now, this might be a little difficult, technical. This means sh- the desire to give pleasure to Krishna. Apart from that, all other desires, that activity which cannot give pleasure to Krishna, that tendency, we should leave that. And all other desires, because it's Anya Bhlashita Shunyam, there should be no other desire. It's not said it's not said that you should be desireless. You should not be desireless. You cannot be desireless. But that bhakti which has desires, which has no desires apart from pleasing Krishna, that bhakti should have no knowledge and karma. That bhakti should not be covered with gyan or karma. The, no mixture of gyan and karma. So these 2 points first we need to understand. Only then I will proceed further. What is Uttama Bhakti, top class of Bhakti? That Bhakti which which is very far from all material desires. Which desires? Material desires. Any kind of desire. The bhakti, there should not be any mixture or mishran of any materialistic desire in Uttama Bhakti. This is the first point. Second point is that Bhakti which is not covered by Gyan and Karma. This is the second condition of Uttama Bhakti. Karam Kant should not be there. Gyan Kant should not be there. So Bhakti should be superior. Gyan Karma should not be superior. Third point is that Bhakti which is only done for the pleasure of Krishna, Preeti of Krishna. And how can we give Preeti to Krishna? Gaik, Mansik, Vachik. By body, activities by the body, by mind, activities of the mind, and by our Vani, words, speech. By these three, you can serve Krishna: body, mind, and words. BMW, body, mind, and words. Gaik means body, Mansik means mind, and Vachi means words. BMW. With these, with these we can make endeavors. We can make efforts to 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 serve Krishna. Then it can be called Uttama Bhakti. our thought process in the mind, our activities by the body, and by our speech, by our tongue. All these should be for Krishna. This is the third point. Fourth point is that bhakti should be like what? Tel dharavat. Tel dharavat means you take olive oil or coconut oil or mustard oil or any kind of oil. It was in bottle. Your mother said, "Oh, okay, my daughter, you pour it in. It's not in good in plastic, so can you shift it? Pour it into a glass water. Sorry, glass bottle. So you pour. Okay, fine. Then that oil you are pouring in another bottle like this, and this bottle, it's falling in one stream. There's no break in between. It's flowing in one stream like a flow without any break. This process is called tel dharavat. Tel means oil. Dhara means the flow. Unbroken stream. It is called unbroken stream. Flowing in a stream. Have you gone to take bath in Ganges at Haridwar? So the water of Ganga, it go it doesn't flow like for 30 minutes, then it stops, then again the water would come, then it would stop. It's all coming the water in one stream. This is called Uttama Bhakti. So now what all the points were: that bhakti which has no materialistic desire by body, mind, and words. It should be only performed for Krishna's pleasure. Performed for Krishna's pleasure. It should not be broken. It should be in a flow. Means Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was fine, and Thursday, Friday, Saturday something happened, and Sunday I was not doing any bhakti. Then again Monday it restarted. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday I was fine. Thursday, Friday, Saturday not so good, and then Sunday again so good. This is not one stream. It's called broken stream. So when we are transferring oil, in that also there is nothing broken. The flow of the river is flowing in one flow. That's called Uttama Bhakti. Uttam means topmost, so its quality should also be topmost. If it breaks, it becomes Khandit. Then it cannot be called Uttama. It can become Kanishta, small Bhakti. So, first point, body, mind, words. BMW. All efforts by body and mind and words. Second point, it should not be broken. Unbroken stream should flow in one stream. And third point is there should not be any mixture of materialistic desire, no contamination of materialistic desire. No such desires should be mixed in Uttama Bhakti, in Bhakti. Fourth is it should not be covered with Gyan and Karma. There should be no mixture. It should be like pure ghee. There should not be any yellow color to make it look like ghee. Then it will become just a mixture, ordinary mixture. So this is called Uttama Bhakti, where everything is performed for Krishna's seva. That's called Annebhlashita Shunyam, Gyan Karmadya Anavritam, Anukulina Krishna Anushilinam, Bhakti Uttama. Our Gurudev, this verse made so many people in the world learn this verse. He gave instructions. Gurudev used to say, first you learn this verse, then you learn its essence, its meaning, and then you, because we have come to do Krishna bhakti, but our bhakti is mixture. It has my emotions, it has contamination of my emotions, then it's breaking, sometimes it's going very high, sometimes going down, it's going up and down, up and down. This is not on the track. And then I will say, I will title it as Uttama Bhakti, but it cannot be called Uttama Bhakti if it's going up and down. That means I am doing low quality of bhakti, but bhakti cannot be of low quality. That's why our Gurudev made so many people, everyone learned this versa. And after learning this versa, he wanted us to understand its meaning. In this verse, there is a prime reason and secondary reason. Prime point and secondary point. Prime point is, okay, what is said initially is a secondary point, although the prime point should be set in the beginning, but this is the art. This is an art actually. And the last point is the prime point. First gone, secondary, and then primary. That bhakti should have no mixture, no contamination. This is secondary point of bhakti. Bhakti should not be covered with gyan and karma. This is also secondary point of bhakti. What is primary then? Anukulina Krishna Anushilanam. Our all efforts, our all activities should be performed only to please Sri Krishna. This is the only word which in this entire verse shows that this is Uttama, very special top class of bhakti. Anukulina Krishna Anushilinam. The intent of that bhakti is to please Krishna. The intention of those activities, the purpose of those activities is to serve Krishna. I just gave you the outline. The depth is in detail, too much detail. We will connect tomorrow. There's homework for all of you. You all should learn this verse. If you cannot learn, then you write it somewhere. And then you can repeat it daily. So when you write and speak, then actually you can learn it, remember it. Not just by seeing you can learn. Not just by reading in your mind you can learn. Unless and until you don't recite by your mouth, you cannot properly learn. So keep on saying Anna Abhlashita Shunyam Gyan Karma Adya Anavritam Anukulina Krishna Anushilinam Bhakti Uttama. It's a very simple verse. So the detailed explanation of this verse we will hear in this verse. Shri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu. Tomorrow at the same time. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.